The slowest of fades. Lunchtime. The slowest of fades.
Got jazz hands from Jim Jones there. Nice.
Those are Wayne's World hands.
Also, they look ridiculously large when you're holding that close to the camera. Like, look at my giant fists. My fist of fury coming at you. Fist bigger than Cecily's head. Look at that thing. Look at that whopper. Anyway.
Lwj&A.
I do that joke every 2 years, and I like it. It's like the Groundhog's Day. The giant fists come out.
Squish my own head. I'm squishing my own head.
and then they see their shadow, and they recede for another 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, do you want to talk about Double Hook Friday?
Yeah, your fists look like Ricky O. Gigantic.
Not nearly
fists.
covered with enough blood.
Probably take down a whole wall with those. We're the new show name. No, it's not. we did this thing that we did not realize we were going to call Double Hook Fridays until about halfway through last weekend, where we got together and we each couple picked a movie and we sat down and watched it. My pick was Ricky O, or the story of Ricky.
That's
I think it's the
subtitle.
full title.
The story of Ricky.
The story of Ricky.
Yeah.
I think,
Which I'd seen before. You guys had not seen.
This is a 1993 kung fu crime drama.
It's kung fu and that people throw punches and kicks, but
Yeah.
it's not so much kung fu as it is like B movie blood and gore, which I love.
Yeah, all Japanese actors shot in Hong Kong
Right.
and then dubbed over in Cantonese.
Because it's a
fuck?
Japanese legend filmed in Hong Kong. I don't know.
Well, then why did they
we
dub
spent
over all
20
the
minutes trying to
characters?
figure it out.
Because we're trying to figure that, but and it also had its world premiere in Japan. So like I said, it felt like it was a
first.
Chinese film made for Japanese audiences, which is kind of strange. But yeah, there's some crazy, very poorly done but exotic gore in this movie. At one point, a man pulled out his own intestines to strangle another man because he deemed that the most efficient way to attempt to kill him.
Well, he'd already been gutted, so what are you gonna do? He can't just die without taking him with him.
Oh, that's true. He
got
peeled
he
off
got
his
his
belly
guts
like
punched out.
a fruit roll-up strip, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Wow, that fucking movie.
Yeah, it's great if you're into low budget gore, which I definitely am. That's one of the top reasons I like old zombie movies. And then we also watched, I had seen it before, but I didn't remember a damn bit of it, MacGruber, on your guys' suggestion.
That is a
MacGruber's-
2010 Will
Forte.
film, which is essentially a spoof of MacGyver, but also all 1980s action movies of this particular kind of like obligatory sex scene. Guys that have
sex scenes in that.
guys that have intense personal rivalries for no reason that are settled in the beginning of the third act by some tearful bro hugs, and I love it because I love those movies and it's a great send up of it.
It is. I don't like Will Ferrell. Well, I don't like him much either. Will Forte.
You don't like Will Forte?
I really strongly do not think Will Forte is funny.
Whoa.
I think there are some good jokes in this movie, but most of them don't quite hit.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, man. I love it.
It's just, I don't find the macho jockeying for who's going to be the alpha here funny, and and I don't find Will Forte funny and his delivery. So when you combine those two things, half of that movie is that. So half of that movie doesn't hit, but the rest of it does. Like those sex scenes are hysterical.
Oh yeah.
And Will Forte bringing it in those scenes. The stuff they do with Ryan Felipe is fantastic.
See, I think that's what makes it work, is because he's bringing this 1980s testosterone-fueled aggression, and no one else is. Everyone else is like, why is this person doing this? And there's also these false kind of bro moments where it looks like they're going to make up, but then MacGruber uses it for human shield, and also I do love Val Kilmer. It's like the last film I saw Val Kilmer in that gave me joy.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's hoping for Top Gun 2. Can't believe Tom Cruise still looks like this, but I thought he killed it in Val Kilmer. Some of the burns he has at MacGruber's expense is just hilarious. And that's the other thing is those are the two parts that are in the parody, like MacGruber and Victor von Kuntz or whatever his name is. Those are the guys that are like crazy over. They're the only ones that take each other seriously. Everybody else is just like, what the fuck? This is. It's like if you had Inspector Gadget and Dr. Claw dropped into Die Hard, and I think that shit is really funny. But
yeah,
I'm also a big
half that movie is funny, half of it is not to me.
I'm a big Forte fan. I loved his Falconer. Like he has this way of like just really. I don't know, lampooning a lot of pastiches of shows that I loved as a child. And I like his like the way he can make his face turn purple and veins pop out of his forehead. I don't know. I guess he's now that I think about it, he has a lot of his humor in common with like an Adam Sandler because it's all in like crazy high pitched voices and over the top histrionics. And you didn't think it's funny when he blew up the van full of his dudes?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I think there are funny jokes in there.
All right,
certainly.
all right.
Like half of that movie is hilarious. Half of that movie drives me insane.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to apologize because so the reason we're calling it Double Hook Fridays is because in Ricky O there's a character with a hook hand, and also in MacGruber character with a hook hand.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that going in. Like you had never seen Ricky O. I didn't fucking remember MacGruber.
I didn't remember there was a hook arm in it.
Okay, yeah, and so we were shocked when we saw it, and we just
That's the theme.
yeah, Double Hook Fridays. Plan on doing those in the future again.
Yeah.
So they were both action movies. Is that going to be the theme every time? Or
No,
just
I think
each
so.
person
Yeah,
brings a
each
pick?
couple brings one movie, and we watch them, and some of them are going to be duds. I'm sure I'll pick a dud here in the future.
Ooh,
But that wasn't a dud. It was just like
We should screen The Endless.
The Endless.
Ooh,
Is
that's
that
a
that
good one.
horror?
That's that like
Yeah.
time travel horror science
Yeah,
fiction
yeah.
kind of concept movie that we saw last. Was that last year for the Spooktacular?
Yes.
And we're
Yes,
gonna have
it
a loaded
was.
Spooktacular this year.
Mm-hmm.
Midsomner,
I was thinking, are you going to be a part of the Spooktacular this
one
year?
Annabelle. I think
I don't know.
I heard good
October's
things
pretty
about the
full.
last Annabelle installment.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know what I found out last night about Cecily Jim?
Huh.
She's a fucking robust, just like
A
you.
robust?
Yeah.
Can we
I forgot about this.
We
We're
like
watching Star Trek.
we
high
were
five?
Oh, wait.
Nope. Just spin that hand.
there you go.
No,
Take
okay.
it across. Boom. I should
My camera slipped.
I should have done that off. Yeah, we're watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and so we got to the episode where Riker gets beamed down to a planet with like Worf and LaForge, and a whole bunch of gas fills this stupid cave. But I'm not even sure why the fuck they're down there. And it turns out that Riker wakes up, and it's 16 years later, and he's the captain of the Enterprise, and Crusher informs him that he was infected with an alien virus on that planet, which lies dormant in your nervous system for 16 years, and then you have an intense fever, and when you wake up, everything that happened since you got infected by a virus gets erased. So, anyway, in this alternate timeline, Data is now commander. He's the number one of the Enterprise. And Cecily said, I don't care how progressive you are in the 24th century, you're not going to give command to an android. And she said it like an android. And I'm like, oh my
wow.
God. Oh my God. We're about to flip.
He can't use contractions. Why would you give him command of
Well,
a
that's
whole...
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'm thinking
the flagship of the entire Enterprise.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clearly there is some programming
Federation.
flaws
Right.
yeah.
in this being.
Yeah.
being.
But it's a great episode.
I mean, this is hot off the episode where Lore was able to take, or some
Data?
kind of, no, what's the doctor's name? The doctor was the one that called him back.
Soon.
Crusher?
Dr.
Oh,
Nguyen
Soon. Yeah, Dr. Soon.
And that caused him to do some crazy shit.
Oh,
so
that's true.
He's got flaws, and he's used them before.
That's true. Data, as for some mechanism, can be hijacked
He has a
remotely.
Manchurian protocol?
Yeah. Don't you remember when Dr. Noonien
Holy
Soon
shit.
kidnapped him back to his home planet so he could give him the emotion chip?
I didn't realize that was part of a Manchurian protocol.
Yeah, he
though.
just activated. Data went psycho.
Holy shit.
Drained the bridge of his atmosphere. When the crew evacuated, he stayed behind.
We can't
used
have
his ability
this.
to mimic Picard's voice perfectly to lock the Enterprise's command functions to himself.
See.
I'm not a robist. I'm a rationalist.
Oh,
I just
and I'm
don't
very
think
good at
the two
rationalizing
belong
my
together.
robism.
You know, Dr. Soon, he's not building his best. Some of them are hijackers.
Yeah, needs to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I assume some of these androids are good people. You guys are fucking like we're about ready to flip the keys over to Tesla, and you're not gonna let an android command a starship 400 years from now, Cecily.
Nope.
Shame.
We'll have to see what the androids are like 400 years from now.
Not on my ship.
I just know that when the cybernetic tribunals of 2069 are formed,
Nice.
y'all gonna be up against the wall.
I got these hats that I printed Mega on.
Mega.
I'll let you figure out what that means.
It's a million bytes, I think.
No, it's I was
Earth?
going for an Enterprise.
Yeah.
Enterprise, make the Enterprise great again.
Enterprise.
Oh, Meg, yeah.
Yeah.
You could probably do. You actually, I don't know. The red trucker hat's pretty toxic, but like, I wonder if that would be because like I feel like they're in the Trek community. There is that's a sentiment that would gain traction. Like make Trek great again.
Yeah. Is make it blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mega, with put the Star Trek logo on it.
Mhm.
There you go. It's the good hat.
Get sued by Paramount.
They don't have enough money. They lost so much. They lost so much launching the Star Trek. They bet their house on Disco and they doubled down with Picard. I hope Patrick Stewart can save him.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great episode. Also, because that's the episode that's the famous clip where Riker tells an elderly Picard, "Shut up, shut your mouth."
How did they resolve
So
that?
many good Riker moments.
He's 16 years in the future?
Yeah.
It's a Romulan simulation.
Of course.
To
Of fucking
extract.
course.
And you know it's so funny
I
because we
remember
just
this
watched this
episode
Rick and
now.
Morty
No, it's
episode,
not.
and it's a simulation inside a simulation scenario.
It wasn't Romulan. It was like a lonely little boy.
Yeah, it
wasn't
turns out that it's actually a lonely little boy who was orphaned, and he's got fantastic powers because his mom abandoned him in a cave that has machines.
And
that can
he
generate.
didn't try to psychically rape Deanna Troy?
He
'Cause isn't that how it usually goes down?
He didn't.
Oh, wow, I'm shocked.
Although you thought
Yeah.
that Jonathan Frakes did an improvised line in the beginning.
He definitely did. There's the line in the beginning where, in the very opening shot, where it was his birthday. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
this is all happening on his birthday too.
Yeah.
And he's given a trumpet, and he plays it
Trombone.
badly. Trombone. He plays it badly, and they're all standing around. And Deanna Troy looks at him, and she says, "What are you gonna wish for, Will?" And he looks down her shirt and like looks her
Holds
up
it
and
for
down.
like 5 seconds.
And then she taps his elbow, like, "What the hell?" And he goes, "Music lessons," but he says it like through laughter, and then everyone starts laughing.
And it's all like, and here's the
And they
thing,
left
like,
it in.
I love the cast of Next Generation. They're not the greatest like natural method actors in the world. That was genuine laughter.
Yeah,
So I actually think we got a Frakes audible.
yeah, it was really funny
Yeah.
though.
So is that part of like the lore now that Riker's got kind of a thing for?
Well, they
You
used
said
to-
it was Crusher?
No, it's
Troy.
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 That's
okay.
always been part of the
Okay,
canon.
I thought you said Crusher, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
strange because I don't remember that. But yeah,
Mm.
Troy is.
Well, come
They've got
on.
an on again, off
If you don't
again
think
thing.
Crusher gave a couple of minutes thought to Riker and that beard.
But did Riker give thought to her? I mean,
I think so because, like, man, right? I forgot what a horn dog. He seems like he's. I mean, to be honest, I've been watching like 2.5 seasons now. Pretty ethical slut, this Riker.
That's what
I
I was
fe- I
thinking.
felt like
I
he
was
had the-
dreading watching this because I wanted to like Riker, but in that time period, it's little sketchy what men will get up to in their attempts to chase women.
absolutely.
This show's been pretty progressive,
Yeah.
except for
There's that one
androids.
that one Me Too episode where he got accused of like murdering the dude.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
and
because-
also,
Steal his wife, yeah.
He attempted to rape that woman.
yeah.
Depending
And-
on their perspectives, he did all of the things.
Yeah, and that's like they even make that a point. But it turns out he gets cleared of murdering the dude, so like the
we'll
rape
never
charge
know
gets dropped.
what actually happened in that bedroom between the man and that woman,
Right.
because that ended up not
And
even mattering.
Deanna, who can sense emotions, verified that she wasn't lying, but they just dropped that whole
Yep.
plot
Yes, they
because
did.
who cares? He didn't kill the guy. Anyway, aside from that, Riker's pretty decent dude. I'm glad I kind of set my North Star after this. I keep on thinking as I'm watching Star Trek. I'm like, yeah, I understand why I'm the way I am. Like, yeah, I had these guys as heroes. They're pretty. They hold up. They hold up.
In this episode, this last one had a pretty quality chair mount by Riker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the Riker maneuver.
Patented.
Yeah.
All right, no, I'm sorry for wasting everyone's time on Star Trek. I'm having a lot of fun with the rewatch. Shall we get to? Does anyone else?
Wait until Picard turns into a Borg. It gets real frisky. Yeah, Picard's trying to assimilate everyone.
Yeah, we actually got through that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, does it happen again?
Also,
He does. Yeah, season 6. he
Patrick
turns into a
Stewart is
Borg.
hella naked in that episode.
In the Borg episode.
Yeah,
In
he's
the-
like full and with the high def stuff. You can like, I mean, it's not like you can see a scrotal sack or anything,
Is
but
that
like
Best
he's just
of Both
like,
Worlds? Is that the one?
Yeah.
yeah, he's essentially got like a body sock over a schlong with some conduit hanging out of it. But it's like, yeah, he's that camera moves 10 degrees over. You got ass crack, and 10 degrees the other way. It's the male USB interface. Universal Serial Borg interface.
All right, what are we doing?
I don't know. We're
Lwj?
answering questions.
Do you
You
want
had
to talk
something-
about
you have some
Oktoberfest?
Funny hats on your desk.
Oh
know
shit! I
that.
forgot about that. It's Jim. It's Oktoberfest season.
Yeah, it's August, so it must be Oktoberfest.
It's August. So starting last weekend, there is a significant Oktoberfest festival within a 60-minute drive of Cincinnati every weekend through October. So we went to the Germania Society's one over there on the northwest side, and it was a lot of fun. We know one of the bartenders, so we drink for free. I got a schnitzel sandwich. I got the damn Oktoberfest chicken eludes me. Everyone says that's the best thing to eat there, and every single time we go, there's like an hour-long line to wait for the chicken to be finished cooking. So like,
And there's people drinking like giant. We should have brought one of those glasses, but there's people drinking giant beers and just getting angrier and angrier that they can't get their chicken because it sells out so fast.
they're craving it night and day.
And you got that hat last year?
I got this hat last year, and
it's too tall for the frame.
I got
for
some
the video.
pins. Whoa, wrong side. That's the feather side. What's really cool is like they found, I guess, a
Aw,
crate of
shit.
old merch from the different Oktoberfest. So I got like there's usually we go late in the day, and they're all sold out of that year's pins because they only have a limited number each day.
I got a hat this year too.
So I was able to get the pins that I would attended but missed. Like I got 2017, 2018, 2019. And I also found a crate of old beer steins. This is these things are like $50. These are made in Germany, shipped overseas. This is the 2012 edition, and it's like a legit beer stein. And I'm incredibly proud to own it. And it was only $20
because it's 7 years old.
Oh yeah, blowout
Yeah.
prices.
Yeah. But I love the 2019 design wasn't nearly this cool. It was like you're just typical lederhosen, poorly illustrated German dude with a beer. This is kind of like some kind of beer pinwheel with a pretzel in the middle. Fucking sweet.
Yeah, it almost has like an Aztec vibe to it. If
Yeah?
those weren't beer steins, yeah, like the colors and the patterns and shapes.
I was getting like almost like a Buddhist
okay.
kind of Tibetan monk kind of thing, like a yin yang of beer. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. Good music, good food, good drinks. We have like some German Fest friends that we see every year, and that's a lot of fun.
Best friends.
And
you got
Cecily
pin
got
Y
her.
pins on there.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
pin-y.com.
Get your own.
Yeah, I like that tiki, that skull tiki. It's cool. Glows
Yeah.
in the dark.
Cecily
Glow in
finally
the
got
dark.
herself a Bavarian wandering hat, with a mountain hat, alpine hat.
Where
Yes.
are you going to wear those? Just
German
at
Fest.
Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
Or just at-
Oktoberfest and Chris Kindlemart in December.
Plus, I would like to check out maybe one more German Fest this German Fest season.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
do
a
some
big
research.
one
I heard
downtown.
the Northern Kentucky Covington one is really legit. There's one in Southern Indiana because like that's kind of where my family came from. There's a German Fest over there that might be kind of cool to check out. I'd like to see if I can get my dad to go to one too. But so yeah, all right. Now we're ready.
All right, questions. Not so much a question. Michelle says, "Happy birthday, Aaron. It's your birthday tomorrow."
It is my birthday tomorrow.
Michelle sent you a gift also.
Happy birthday.
Staged down here. I have not. I don't know what it is.
Not supposed to tell people it's staged.
I
That's the point of
happen
staging.
to have it here at my desk. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is. Oh, this is okay. This is every member of Queen as a Funko Pop toy. Brian May, Roger Taylor, John Deacon, and sure enough, there's Freddie Mercury.
Oh God, that's precarious.
This is a Tower of Pop. Oh wait, maybe I can do this all in one go.
Ooh, yeah. You're just gonna explode out of your hand.
Nope, I got this. How did
That's
he do
cool.
Nice.
it? No, I want to do a shot-for-shot remake of the film using oldie's Pop Funko figurines.
You're gonna need a Mike Myers one too.
That's true. That's true. I
Oh
will.
yeah.
And I'll need a Littlefinger. We might have a Littlefinger Pop figure. I'm almost
You
there.
might.
And I'm sure I can get an Austin Powers. Like, there's no way or Funko has not made a Pop figure of that.
Yeah.
So then, boom.
What about
Who
the guy
else?
from Downton Abbey, whose name I cannot remember?
Which one?
His boyfriend.
Oh yeah, the Garage Man. Tom.
Garage Man.
Tom
Oh,
Branson.
Tom Branson. Yep.
I don't. That's the one that'd be tough. I don't think he's been in unless
Don't
there's
think they made a
unless there's a
Downton
Downton Abbey
series?
series. Hold on. Downton Abbey.
Hold on, we got to make time for this fictional project.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
That's never going to in a million years happen because
I
who
don't
has
know.
the time for that?
All right, you're right. Not the Queen movie.
Holy.
But I would do a Downton Abbey
oh.
Christmas special out of Funko figures.
I
There
got
you go.
excited, but it looks like
they custom?
it's on Etsy. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing custom.
Oh.
They just like painted a derby on him or something. I don't know.
I think you can just make these custom. Like, what are they made out of? Latex?
Oh, can you custom order?
I mean, people on
Funko
Etsy are
Pops?
just making
I
custom.
think so, because you can make them that look like yourself, like a pop
Seriously?
figure out of yourself.
And Funko will produce those for you?
Oh, maybe no. I think
Oh,
these things have
shit.
been
Wait, let me see.
customized. They took another character and they've used like what do they call that that polymer clay to like
guess
cut
not.
clothes and stuff for them.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're actually pretty
Like the
cool
Barbie
looking
clothes?
though. The granny one is really cool. So are the cousin Matthew and Mary ones.
Oh.
All right.
You can make like a custom avatar of yourself,
Mm.
but you can't make. A
Thank you for the
physical
birthday
one.
present, Michelle. That's very sweet of you. You've always been very sweet. And I think it's the first birthday present I've gotten for a Bald Move because I've tried to keep my birthday somewhat secret. I don't know why. I don't know. You guys got like, I feel like you guys have 3 out of 4 of my bank security password features now. You know my birthday. You know.
And
know
now you
your
know
wife's
that those
name.
are.
Yeah. you know my wife's name if you've been a diligent live listener.
Your son's name, yeah.
The son's name. Yep.
Mhm.
Know my hometown. Probably could guess the high school I graduated from. Probably could pinpoint my elementary school.
The make and model of your first car? No.
I don't think I've talked
And his
about
last
that.
Let's tell
car.
that story. Let's all go through it.
All
yeah.
right. Well, here's what happened.
Mother's maiden name?
James.
Baldwitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had a dream I snatched her wig off.
Yep.
That was fun.
Snatched her weave out.
James on Twitter says, Aaron, is it true your 43rd birthday is tomorrow? I'm 43 tomorrow as well.
August 31st, baby.
What are the odds?
Happy birthday to us.
many
James'
people?
question.
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
long after you meet a person on the online dating sites do you ask to meet up? What are the best letdowns if you meet and it's just not there? I think it's more common than you think that people are born on the same day.
350,000 babies born on the same day.
Yeah, isn't there like a 1 in 365 chance that happens?
There's someone in my
Oh, but this
office
is
that
also
has this exact same birthday as
day
I do.
and
Oh,
year.
geez.
That's a little bit less common, right?
What?
Because he's the same age.
Day
as
and
me.
year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're literally born on the same day.
Oh, let's do a little
We're
calculating.
bicentennial babies. Also cool.
Oh,
I think. I don't know. I just remember my yearbook, my baby book has a lot of $2 bills in it. What was the question?
So how long after you meet a person online do you meet up with them, and how do you let them down if it's just not going well?
I always tried to go for like a couple back and forths, and then like, hey, you seem like a cool person. Can we exchange phone numbers? And then if they were kind of like hesitant, I usually moved on to the next one because I'm like, what more? Okay, I don't really care to send emails back and forth for weeks and weeks and weeks before I meet. Then do the coffee shop thing, and then I don't know. I if someone wanted to have a further date with me and I didn't, I'd be like, hey, I had a lot of fun. You seem like a great person, but I just didn't feel the connection. I'm sorry, and I never had a problem with that. So I've heard that it doesn't. That sometimes the women have worse luck with the rejection stuff, but yeah, I mean that's all you can say. It's like it's just not there. I think the one tip I'd give is like don't go into further detail. It's just like, shit, you don't owe them it, and it's probably going to just make them feel shittier if you're just like, actually the way you bit your fucking toenails under the table, super gross. I think that's inappropriate coffee shop behavior.
I think you should let somebody know if they're doing that.
I think
someone should already know.
That's exactly. It's like they either know, they shouldn't know, or it's maybe just a personal picadillo, or if it's just like, you just like, hey, you weren't as attractive as you looked online.
Yeah, your pictures are out of date.
Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna say a bunch of ignorant shit when we got together and had a beer. Yeah, it's just I did feel the connection.
You got roughly a 1 in 21,000 chance of being born on the same day as someone else.
And year?
Yes.
Wow.
On the exact same day.
All right.
What is that, like 365 times the human lifespan?
No, it's 7.5 billion divided by the number of babies born each day.
Right.
350,000. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
That's a simpler math, and I would have arrived to it way further down the line.
All right. I have a question from Leon. Just over a year ago, I posted about my redundancy situation and how Aaron's advice to be kind to yourself really helped me feel better about myself and focus on my energy in a constructive way. I got a new job shortly after following Aaron's advice, and next Monday is my 1-year anniversary with the new company. The job is much better than the one I had before, and I couldn't be happier with how things turned out. Just wanted to let you know that the stuff you guys talk about does resonate and make a difference in the real world.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I remember that story. That's really cool. I'm glad things are still going for you. Keep it up. And if you have a setback, be kind to yourself. Working on that myself.
Leon also has a question. How does vacation work in the U.S.? The aforementioned company I now work for has a U.S. division, and annual leave holiday entitlement is very different over there. It seems that U.S. companies typically give employees 10 paid days leave a year. In the UK, most workers are legally entitled to 28 days paid holiday, which usually comprises 20 days to take when you want, 8 public holidays, but most companies over here give more than the statutory minimum. Am I right that U.S. workers generally get 10 days paid holiday per year? And if so, do they tend to make more than this per year, or take more than this per year, or do they only take more days off, presumably unpaid, when planning a big trip?
I think it's standard, especially if you're talking like like hourly wage type employees, to get 0 days of paid off your first year, 1 week your second year, maybe 2 weeks your third year, and then maybe I've seen places where at 5 and 10 you get like maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and just people don't take long vacations as a result.
Yeah, or they take no vacations.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hourly workers in this country can't take vacations because those are not just vacation days. Those are also paid. Those are PTO days.
Yes.
Which means anytime you get sick, anytime you have to go to the fucking eye doctor or the dentist,
or if your kids get sick,
you're taking a day off. If you want to go fucking vote, you're taking a day off to go do those things, and that counts against your what you would call vacation time. We call it PTO, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. No, we. I don't even know what the argument is for not adopting a more European style. Like give people about a month off a year. Doesn't seem 1/12 of their life to be able to spend away from work a year. Doesn't seem to be asking too much. Don't think the world would stop spinning. Don't think it's probably good for companies to have that kind of coverage where maybe but like that's the other thing is I for like 2 or 3 years out of my total career didn't take vacation, not because I didn't have time coming, but I felt like I would be the biggest fucking asshole if I took off because the company was in a crisis and there was not enough people to cover, and what would happen if I was, and also what am I going to do, go to a beach and then I'll get a phone call because something's on fire, and and one of those companies had a like no vacation policy which they pitch to you as take as much vacation as you want. If you can get off then take off and look at this guy. He took off 6 weeks last year and went to Africa and They didn't tell you that like the previous 5 years he worked his guts out to earn the political capital to do that. And if he did it again the next year, he started to be talked about.
Yep.
And then it started. It's like it is.
Yeah,
it
but
is bullshit.
I think typically people who work in the environment where there are no vacation days, you just take off whenever you want, take off less time.
Yeah,
overall
because
than
everyone
people.
looks and it's like almost like this dystopian. Did you notice Tom? He's had a lot of time off this year, and it's fucked. It's like so many things.
Well,
fucked.
it's a cultural thing too here. It's very much like we don't expect any leisure time in our lives. It's all about productivity. It's all about getting ahead. Like the American dream sort of demands it. So
I mean, it absolutely does. Like John Slattery did that commercial for the Super Bowl like 3 years ago, where he's like, "In America, we don't fucking take vacations and 40-hour work week. What's that, pussy?" Like it was like some Jeep because I did the 40-hour work week didn't get us to the moon, and like, god damn, why are we bragging about this?
I haven't seen my kids in 6 months. How about you?
It's like imagine if the culture is literally work like at a factory is to literally work your hands to the bones. Like unless bones were sticking out, that was the gold standard. Like people would be like, "That's lunatic behavior." But when it's workaholicism, it's a-okay. And you know what really sucks is I'm a workaholic, a bald move.
Yep.
I don't take
same
it.
here.
Like we could be the change we want to see in a world, but we're not because that shit is inside me. So
Yeah. And like especially as a business owner in a burgeoning industry, it's like, okay, well, you're competing against everybody else. Like there are certainly, areas where I don't feel like I'm competing, but you get left behind if you don't work as hard as the next guy, and the next guy knows that, and he's working twice as hard as you.
And
so.
That's why Twitch streamers don't take vacation. That's why YouTubers
Burn
are
themselves out
are
and-
becoming nervous wrecks because they have to, it's the gig economy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'd rather do this than drive an Uber or a Lyft or write code.
I am complaining. I am
Yeah,
complaining,
you're right.
but
You're right.
also I would much rather do what I'm doing.
I want decent human behavior for all of us.
Yeah.
I want that. Yeah. This is not complaining on my behalf. It's like, look at this pitiable condition that we're all in. Who's going to be the one that blinks and changes it? I don't know. I think the next 30 years is going to be either. I don't know. I think we're headed for another 30 years. We're going to pull out of this slump, and we're going to have another 30 years of progress. Just like it's turn of last century. We didn't have 40-hour work weeks. We didn't have weekends. We didn't have paid time off. We didn't have like workers' comp. We didn't have overtime.
We did have unions.
People bled in the fucking streets for it too. So maybe that's something we're gonna have to do, and we'll get like a federally mandated 5-week vacation policy. We'll get a year paternity time or maternity time, paternity and maternity time, parenthood time. We'll get some of these things that we've taken not for granted. We just haven't seen that it's a possibility. So
on Twitter, WC and me rather, Aaron, what did you think of when you heard about Andrew Luck retiring?
I have said this many times that Ryan Grigson is a son of a bitch who destroyed 5-6 years of a promising Colts franchise, and he ruined Andrew Luck's career, and this is the shoe that dropped. And I was actually having a conversation at a bar with some Cincinnati Bengals fans this week, and they asked me about it, like, why did he do it before the draft? Why? And I'm like, probably because Andrew Luck wanted to send as big a fuck you to the Colts organization as he possibly can. They don't give a fuck about him. And like Jim Irsay's like, he's walking away from $250 million. Yeah, but he's going to have his health. He's going to like have 2 or 3 concussions under the maximum neurological limit, hopefully. I mean, this man got destroyed.
He can feel
for
good
the first
about
7-8 years of his career.
Not wanting to beat his wife in an elevator or perhaps kill her later when his brain trauma causes him to.
Yeah, because it has an inexpressible rage. So, and this man, also this guy doesn't need football. He's got like a serious economics degree from
educated.
What was it, Stanford?
I think Stanford or Harvard.
Yeah, he'll probably make another couple $100 million in the private sector. So good for you, Andrew Luck. I wish you were exciting and you're a great leader, and I thought you seemed like a decent dude, and I hope the rest of your life treats you better than we did here in Indianapolis.
Is it still an advantage in like corporate circles to be an ex-athlete?
It has to be. Like,
I know it was in like the 80s. You know, everybody wanted the baseball player for the team.
That's what I'm saying. Like an eminently qualified person who's intelligent and articulate, and it seems like he's not like got a screw loose, and just so happened to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL for a long, long time. Was on people's fan. Yeah, like he walks in and recruiters like he's got. It's like a supermodel walking in. It's like there's just some social cachet there. Right. And he's also qualified, so
yeah.
Yeah, I was reading, or I heard his interview where he said he was retiring, but I also was reading a lot about this. And apparently it's just this endless cycle, just like you guys were talking about, working all the time, except it's everything. It's mentally, it's physically, just an endless cycle of just like getting hurt and
injuries start stacking up.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not even, I think he just turned 30 years old. Mm-hmm. And Rob Gronkowski retired this year as well, and these guys
are smart. They're multimillionaires. Their legacy is secured. Get out while you still can walk.
Yeah, don't let those fuckers milk your life dry. Like, yeah, they're paying you a ton of money, but they're doing it because they know you're gonna be fucked for the rest of your life.
Right. They need you. So I think it's awesome that he's making a statement out of it too.
Yeah. No, I can't even imagine what it's like to walk away from something you've done since you're probably like 8 years old, and the cheering and the money and but it's a mature decision to make if you're in a position to make it, for sure.
Makes me wonder what it is. His dad's still alive, right? I think so.
I don't know. I don't know near, because that's the other.
His dad and Peyton Manning's dad used to be on the same team together.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So it's
when
your
Archie
whole
was down
life.
It wasn't for. I don't think it was for the Saints. It was for the Rams. Maybe I'm not gonna look it up. Yeah, that checks out.
It's just it's your whole life. So it makes me wonder what his family thinks and if they support him. But we do. All right, Dork of the Ninjas. Wanted to get everyone's opinion on these upcoming trailers. The first is El Camino. It says it felt like two things. It came out of nowhere, and I'm immediately excited for it. Felt like Netflix clapping back, saying we're still going to be relevant outside of Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that this trailer got me so excited. Maybe it just speaks to how much of a diehard Breaking Bad fan I am, but like seeing Skinny Pete telling the cops to go fuck themselves is, I'm hyped. Like I don't know anything about the movie, right? It's gonna be about Jesse, but I don't know anything else. And yet I'm
Saul's
super excited.
Gonna be in it for sure.
Is that true?
Yeah, because Bob Odenkirk said he talked about wrapping up filming. So maybe he just went through the set and watched all that. But I can't imagine.
Maybe he's directing.
That's true. Maybe it's true. He could be.
I don't
know. 2, the Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker D23 footage. Gotta say, I wasn't really excited for episode 9 in my book, but gotta say I'm starting to build up a tiny bit of excitement.
Did you see the double-bladed ray?
I haven't seen this yet. No, I saw a switchblade lightsaber meme on Twitter, which was pretty awesome.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I want to try to go into a Star Wars movie with as little expectations as possible. And honestly, I have like a fairly negative expectation. So I can only pleasantly be surprised, because I don't like hating Star Wars. I don't even like being ambivalent about Star Wars. It's kind of like I don't like being ambivalent about the Colts, but I feel like I kind of am, because I'm mad at the team. I'm mad at the fact that I can't watch it easily here in Cincinnati. It's like I don't like it. I wish I was a big fan, and I want them to win me back. But I just don't have a lot. The Mandalorian looks sick. That looks like it might get me back into it too.
Yes.
I have zero excitement for a Rian Johnson or Double D trilogy of Star Wars films, and that's the future of the franchise. I'm like, oh.
I think Pedro Pascal is playing the Mandalorian.
Yes, he is.
I found that out yesterday. I'm super excited.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
And Giancarlo Esposito as an Imperial villain. Hello.
So there. Finally, Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series starring Ewan McGregor. Yes.
He's the best. Well, okay. He's not the best Obi-Wan, but he's right up there.
Yeah.
Like Alec Guinness, come on.
And I My only question is, what the fuck is it going to be about?
Yeah.
Because as far as we knew, he was a hermit on Tatooine, keep an eye on Luke for those 20 years. So, I mean, I guess they could find a way for like Yoda send him on secret Jedi missions that he would like. And that's the thing is, if he can easily get off the planet, why did Luke have to sell a speeder and they have to go with a cut rate freighter like the Millennial Falcon, Millennium Falcon. I said Millennial Falcon. That's the name of Jenny Nicholson's Star Wars show.
Okay.
The I can't even say it right. What is it?
Millennium
Falcon. I don't know how they'll explain the setup.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it other than Ewan's in it, and I like him.
All right, Too Lowbrow on Twitter. You guys into Darkwing Duck? A buddy of mine just started a podcast and it's getting me back into the show, but I haven't watched since I was like 11.
Have they done a reboot of that recently? Is that
They're
why?
just covering the old show.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they doing the whole Disney afternoon? Because I could get down on some DuckTales stuff.
DuckTales,
Ooh.
Darkwing Duck. It's funny because like I just was watching Lindsay Ellis as I was perusing her Twitter feed, and she was talking about like, with all this talk of nostalgia and reboots and Disney properties, why the fuck is no one talking about Gargoyles?
Yeah.
But I love Darkwing. In fact, that was my go-to online avatar from the time I was like 12 to almost 20 when I switched to Neolith. But I fucking love Darkwing.
Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous, baby.
Well, if anyone is watching Darkwing Duck episodes, the Buddies podcast is called the St. Canard Files.
I am the microphone that records your podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
Diecast says, what upcoming shows are you guys planning on covering? I don't see a lot of new show feeds being created. Does that mean you guys are shifting your coverage to Bald Move TV and transitioning away from weekly coverage of shows?
No. It just means that we've been heads down on Rick and Morty, and nothing new that has really piqued our interest came out in the last couple months.
Right, because our philosophy is, unless we're like 100% sold on something, we're never going to do a season one with a standout like single feed coverage. But just so happens there's a whole shit ton of things coming down the line. Like I'm looking at our schedule, and we've got The Deuce, we got Mr. Robot's final season, we got American Horror Story. Those I think
Watchmen is going to be a standalone.
Is going to be in the Bald Move TV feed,
right? As it was last year.
But the Watchmen's going to have a dedicated feed. His Dark Materials probably a Bald Move TV feed, because we just don't. I mean, we're excited
why,
for
though.
it.
Like, man, it's so hard to figure out when and why you would ever combine feeds. Especially on a new show, because new shows are when you grow your audience, in my opinion, not when you try and sell ads on something that you have no ad basis for, and the ad basis is not, obviously can't be based on the actual show. So if you are selling an ad basis on like a bunch of preview episodes you did, you end up selling at a much lower rate, and if you're trying to like combine it into some mega feed to do a vertical, it's like, well, now you're giving away kind of the stuff that grows your audience, which is the high profile, very specific thing that they want. I don't know. We are having conversations about that stuff daily now.
Right.
And it's driving me insane.
What do you think about this? Because very rarely do we get to do like A/B testing of something. What if we did the Watchmen a standalone feed? We did His Dark Materials as a Bald Move TV feed, and then because I don't know how equivalent those shows would be, but interesting to like to measure the engagement and the downloads of each. Because
I just don't know that tells us anything. Like the problem we have is that
we know that popular shows make Bald Move TV bigger. Like when we do
like Chernobyl got
Sharp
many
Objects.
more downloads.
Sharp Objects did like really good numbers for us. I don't know. I mean, I could be talked about because I think I was originally the like everything should be an individual feed guy. Like if we were doing this over again, like American Horror Story wouldn't be, it'd be in the Bald Move TV feed, because it's there's a size of show that it seems like it's not worth breaking out because you're not getting that growth. And then there's shows like Westworld, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, stuff like that definitely are orders of magnitude bigger than the other kind of shows. So
I don't
like, those
understand
are the ones
the rationale though, because like
really,
what is the point of putting a show like His Dark Materials into the Bald Move TV feed?
To make Bald Move TV bigger?
To sell ads?
Because it's easier to sell ads on a weekly podcast series?
Sure. My argument against that is that you are going to get less people interested in something that says Bald Move TV and one of the episodes each week happens to be a discussion about this thing. People are less likely to subscribe to a thing that is not super focused on what they're interested in.
I mean, that's always been a theory, but I guess
wouldn't you... I guess my point is, why wouldn't you release it both ways?
Oh, I mean...
Release a standalone feed to get people who only give a shit about His Dark Materials or Mandalorian or whatever to hit the subscribe button.
Well, here's the other
and
thing.
Then also put it in Bald Move TV simply to bump the numbers of Bald Move TV.
With this insane workload coming up, it's like the other thing is like we rarely do feedback on Bald Move TV, so like the expectation's not there, and feedback honestly is a big part of the work. So if we do His Dark Materials on Bald Move TV, that says, you know, we're not going to do feedback. We're going to do kind of like the half-ass version of not the like exhaustive scene-by-scene breakthrough, and we're just going to talk about it and give it the good, like, you know, diligent coverage we always do. And hey, if it blows up and like it's a critical darling and there's a ton of awards in season 2, we can always split off in its own feed. I guess the only argument for doing it both ways would be like the feeds are cannibalistic towards each other, so you're getting a weird distorted view of both stats. But I don't know.
But you're still getting stats. Like, I would think if anything, it would just bump everything across the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now you got people in Bald Move TV who never would have gone out and searched for it, listening to, you know, His Dark Materials or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you've also got the people who are specifically searching His Dark Materials signing up for that dedicated feed.
Right.
I agree.
And if you're talking about like the format of the podcast, I don't know why you have to do a full recap analysis feedback podcast in a dedicated feed. It doesn't have to be that. It's just what we've done forever.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, this is an evolving. Like that's a take that Jim didn't have yesterday.
No, we talked about this yesterday.
Well, I'm just saying I'm doing a little bit of a bit, but I think you had a little bit more of a nuance too.
I think there is a big question mark around like, is it better to when it comes to ad sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because when you throw ad sales in the mix, then it's like, okay, is it better to give up the growth that you're going to get off a dedicated feed in order to sell ads sooner? Like sell ads in season 1 because you can find like an ad basis by releasing a bunch of, you know, semi-related episodes to see how many people are interested, then sell ads on that on the first season of the show? Or is it better to wait till the second season of the show, use the first season to just purely as growth for your audience, and then, you know, capitalize on the larger audience that you'll probably have?
Well, and that's also what kinks up the hitch, I guess, is the fact that we have this large successful club program that almost no one else does. So it's like, it's weirdly kind of worth it for us. All things being equal, I think we'd rather have a much larger audience so that we can pitch our own like product to, rather than have a smaller but steadier audience that we can farm advertising money off of.
Right.
But not many outfits have that luxury that y'all provide for us. So.
No, I think it's an open question. I don't have a
and no one has the right answer, because like if you pay attention to the big podcasts, like, they're all playing these like weird games and feed swapping and like repurposing feeds and try to figure out what is the thing that is the right mix between, you know, monetizing your content and pissing people off, and you know,
and making a living,
paying your bills. It's the fun part of the job.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that answers that question.
And on top of all
we got 25 more minutes.
On top
here.
of all the other shit that we're doing, we also have the Expanse entirety of season 4 dropping on December 13th.
Dude.
Friday the 13th.
You guys should see our fucking calendar right now. It is insane.
It looks like a Christmas tree.
October,
it's lit up with all these shows.
And they're releasing shit through the holidays, most likely. Like Mandalorian's going to run till the 22nd, and I think Mr. Robot is running through the end of the year.
He's going to run right up to Christmas. We're not getting the traditional shutdown that we normally do. Plus all the other Christmas stuff that we do during the month of December anyway. So.
Right.
Be fun.
And the Halloween stuff. Like, it's going to get crazy starting in October. You guys will be doing spooktaculars. Yep. We're going to be doing...
Oh, also the movie load is for real, too.
Crazy.
Like, we've got... like, on the 19th Ad Astra, Rambo, and Downton Abbey, all of which I want to see, all of which I want to cover for Bald Move. We got It 2 weeks before that. We got The Joker and Lucy in the Sky Diamonds coming out 2 weeks
Not
after
with
that
diamonds.
same night. Oh, just Lucy in the Sky. We got Zombieland 2. We got Dr. Sleep, Ford versus Ferrari, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Star Wars. On top of it's going to, you guys are not going to be able to keep up. All y'all in the
Good luck
forums
listening to it all.
begging for content. You're going to be like the Israelites asking for doves in the desert. The Lord's going to shove them down your throat till that meat comes out your nose. That's a quote from the Bible.
Really?
Yeah. The Israelites wanted meat. They got tired of that manna in the desert. They wanted meat, so the Lord's like, you want meat? Here's pigeons till they come out your ass.
Oh,
Yeah, everyone
pigeons.
having a Bald Move withdrawal is about to overdose.
yeah. We're just lowering your tolerance.
Yeah.
And they're going to hit you with
Yeah.
the full dose.
Yeah, we've been cutting it. We've been cutting and stepping on his product, and bam, full dose with fentanyl.
Going out in a blaze
Probably
of glory.
bad taste to make a joke about drug addiction these times.
Oh, yeah.
I regret it, but that's going to happen.
Well, you brought up the drugs. I was just gonna give them content.
Pigeons and heroin.
All right, XE Eliminator. Let's just assume we've got everyone on board with the fact global warming is happening. What is the process to get CO2 levels down? I assume you start with what we need technology to capture the carbon.
Yep. Sequestration.
Which from what I can gather, we've got the technology to capture it well in hand. So then it comes how to scale up the technology.
Right.
Have you heard of any way harvesting CO2 out of the atmosphere could be profitable? If it can't be profitable, what other path exists except for the taxpayer to take the cost on the chin and flip the bill?
I mean, that's what's literally going to happen anyway.
Right. Yeah, you think the companies are going to pay for this? Get out of here.
I mean, we can make them, but like
We won't.
there's going to, but even if we do, that's going to be reflected.
it's going to be such a fucking concession for them to even admit and do anything about it in the first place.
Right.
That there's no way they'll foot the bill for it.
But I'm saying even if you could, through some kind of taxation or appropriation of their funds, it would be reflected in higher prices on consumers. So like we're going to get, whether it's taxes out of us personally, we're going to find it's going to be the people, you know, that's going to pay for that. So it's going to be expensive. I'm not as, I guess, optimistic about the carbon sequestration technology. Because I thought that the big problem with that is that it takes a lot of energy to sequester. And now there's a couple of ways, like I've heard,
I've seen byproducts that do it of our already like industrialized processes. Yeah.
I found it seems like that we got to work on the emission side first and then sequester, or maybe you got to do both. But I've also heard of like rapidly growing like timber, like growing big forests and then clear cutting them and burying that, essentially doing what used to happen and how we got coal.
Right. Yeah.
Like these big vast forests that grow with just grow them up, chop them down, bury them, and rinse and repeat, and just stick that shit back into the ground. I've heard of
But
like
it takes a long damn time for trees to grow big enough to sequester much carbon, doesn't
but
it?
they do a lot because like
but if it takes 20 years, that's our fucking timeline right there. That's the entire window we've got.
right. But like you could start, you know,
we could
like start. I saw this one thing. It seems like pretty sci-fi, but someone is working in South America on drone technology that's like capable of planting X amount of trees per hour and. Like
Johnny Drone Seed. What the fuck?
I don't know, but like you could maybe do like start reforesting areas. It's just going to be a lot of things.
I'm gonna start a comic named Droney Grapple Seed.
5.5 grapple seeds. I don't know. It's like I said, you got to work on the emissions. You got to sequester. You got to.
Alternative energy sources.
Yeah, we probably need to start talking like nuclear again. I know we just did fucking.
Yeah, it's a scary thing, but
and that's the frustration. It's like I don't think anyone should accept. Well, nuclear is the answer. I think that the people pushing nuke have to make the public case that it's safe now, and I think that case can be made. No one's making it. I see a lot of libertarian technocrats on the internet as just boldly asserting it's all fixed now. But like as we saw with Chernobyl, god damn, and like if maybe you try, I don't know, because again, if they're wrong, the consequences are grave. And I know also the consequences are grave sticking to fossil fuels, and it's not a fair comparison, and blah 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 blah. But
one thing I can say for sure is it's not as safe as green renewable energy.
right.
If it gets us to where we need to be, I'm willing to accept a certain amount of risk.
Sure.
Because the risk without doing it is far greater.
And I think that
but we need to have a plan to also phase out nuclear and go all renewables.
If anything, it seems like this year and the last year we're seeing that maybe there was this hope that maybe their estimates were wrong in the good direction. But and maybe we just had a brutal couple of years, but it seems like it's also a possibility that we've hit some of these runaway effects where all this
the
ice
methane
melting,
from the sea leaks into the area.
The permafrost thawing, that this is accelerating. And, if we're starting to see these effects happen in a 10 to 30 year timeline instead of a 50 to 80 year timeline, maybe we'll start getting more, we'll start getting shit done. But I don't know. I hope we can technology out of our way out of it, but I'm not super optimistic about it. I think it's just going to be very expensive. That's going to cause just a huge refugee crisis, which if you've been paying attention, we can't deal with a few million war and economic refugees. We were talking 100 million. What the hell are we going to do?
I think
lots of people are going to die in heat waves. And
we can absolutely technology our way out of it. I think we have the solutions technically to get it done. What I don't think we have is the will.
Right.
And I don't know that we'll have the will until I don't know that we'll ever have the will.
Right.
And by the time we get the will, it's going to be far too late.
I saw this poll, and that is, polls, who knows, because you don't know how they prime, but they asked the average American, do you support spending money to fight climate change? 78% of Americans agree, which I thought was actually shocking.
Yeah, it's a good
But
amount.
if you say, would you contribute $1 per year, that drops to 60-some%. If you once you get to $30 a year, it's in the low teens.
Wow, for $30,
right?
$30 fucking dollars. Are you kidding me?
I mean, that's just one poll I saw a couple weeks ago. But I don't know. I do think that it does seem, because I don't know, I use I use social media and Reddit as an example, and I know Reddit's a super liberal site, haha. But I feel like there's been a change in the public. The main subreddits, and it seems like there's a big swing in the direction of we should have some sort of universal health care in America, there's enough stories of people suffering, and just that people maybe if you have to wait 3 months for a doctor, it's not the worst thing in the world, if that's even the fucking case. And it seems like there's really, the worm is turning on global warming and a couple of these other important issues. And that's a young demographic. That's a very technically sophisticated demographic. But if that can hold in the next 10 to 20 years, maybe we'll get some positive change done. Because the other thing is, I just think we're going. It's been the small minority of. I'm just going to talk about America, because that's what I know. It's been a small a minority of Americans that have really felt a lot of this economic stress, and it's been a lot of minority Americans. It's starting to spill out into larger sections of society. It's really starting to eat at the middle class. Everyone's starting to know people that have lost their homes, that have, I've got several relatives that can't afford their medication, insulin medication, or I've got a cousin that's just really brilliant, and he's very smart. But he's a child. He's a diabetic from childhood. He needs insulin to survive, and it's $1,200 a month. He'll never be able to move out of his parents' house. He's never going to be able to go to college. All this potential is going to be squandered on him doing, odds and ends shit, and scrapping to get his fucking insulin, and
on something that should be a fucking commodity.
Yeah,
the insulin is not hard to make.
No,
we know how to do this shit.
Yeah, so I think the more these type of stories get out, and the more the fact that our mental health is a joke in this country, the more this affects real people, the more people are going to demand change. It's just a race.
I hope so.
It's a race to see if it's going to be kind of quote unquote too late from a perspective of, without significantly impacting our standard of living and a way of life.
All right, Darmok and Jalad.
At Tanagra, yep.
When the walls fell.
Hey, y'all. Did you hear that Dan Harmon is ending Harmontown in December? May the force be with you.
Yeah, no, I was. Okay. It's so funny because like it's something that I didn't not expect because he's been talking about it, kind of like in a joking, not joking way.
Every time he like goes a little bit too far with something, or like things get awkward on the show, he's like, we should like, stop
because he's always had the shtick of like tonight's going to be a bad show. You know, it's going to be a terrible show.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Lately he's been doing like I just want to stop doing it. You know, it's just kind of like a self-deprecating thing. But yeah, he said he's going to call it quits in December, and it is by far my favorite podcast. It's one of the few podcasts it's a must listen to when it's released. I'm a member. I watch the video when I can, and yeah, I'll miss it. I'll super miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I say good for him. You know, if that's what he wants to do, if he's just like sick of making the podcast, or he's got so much money, all he wants to do is, I don't know, drink Mai Tais on a beach, or
enjoy it. Yeah,
fucking just write, do what he loves to do, not what he kind of just started on a lark and then spun out of his control. Yeah, go for it, man. Do what makes you happy. And if the podcast isn't making you happy, shut it down for a while. Maybe in a year you'll be like, oh, you know what? I feel like doing that podcast again.
Yeah. You can still guest on other podcasts.
Yeah.
You can come here anytime. If you're bored and watching this show, come here. Okay. Texas Sandman. Amazon's Lord of the Rings series is apparently only going to take place in the Second Age.
What does that mean?
Lord of the Ring takes place in the Third Age.
So the Second Age came to a close when the armies of elves and men destroyed Sauron, right?
So it's going to be
so that the end of the Second Age was the prologue of the first movie.
Second Age is a prologue of the first movie. I don't remember the prologue of the first movie.
So like the first age was like the Silmarillion stuff.
Oh, the huge battle. Okay,
yeah. Where Sauron gets defeated, and his finger got cut off, and Isildur refused to throw the ring into the crack of doom. Okay.
So the end of this question is: does that diminish interest for most casual fans? Don't think so.
I don't think so, because honestly, that was one of the hokier parts about the Hobbit, them trying to jam in all of these not appearing, like these old Lord of the Rings favorite characters.
Texas Sandman says, I believe the Second Age covers the rise and fall of Numenor and OG Sauron, so there's still some familiarity, but no Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli. I'm assuming pretty high fantasy for this would jimmy out.
No, I liked the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm not heavy into the lore. Like, I hardly remember them. I just remember, oh yeah, I enjoyed the movies. Hated the Hobbits. They were pointless and awful.
They are.
And bloated beyond belief.
I love fantasy. Those are terrible movies.
But yeah, I think I'm in for at least watching it. I don't think I would be a good fit for a podcast about that show, because I don't know anything about the characters, and fuck, I didn't even know what the Second Age was. So,
all right. Related, how much of the Silmarillion has Aaron read?
I muscled through it once in high school.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, it's like reading the Old Testament. Like every once in a while, it's amazing, and like Samson slaying 1,000 Philistines with a moist jawbone of an ass. And then you get to the book
moist
of
with
Numbers. What?
Moist with blood, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, why else would it be moist?
Yeah.
It's just
he always pisses
on.
in it. You got to wet the bone. You got to piss on it. You get that +3 piss damage on the Philistines.
That really boosts his powers. You know, the hair takes him away. The piss.
Oh yeah. Get that piss flowing on that jawbone. Get it moist.
Oh yeah.
Get that bone.
That gets him going.
Nothing like a moist jawbone, Jim.
Samson's a dirty bird.
But that's what Silmarillion's like. Like there's like sometimes I got really engaged, and then sometimes it's just like, wow, this is really fucking deep, and I don't fucking care. And I read it again like in my late 20s and felt pretty much the same. So, but yeah, I mean, there's like the lore is deep, and it's all about the characters. Can they tell a compelling high fantasy story with the characters they have? It'd be interesting if they're going to go with like Baron and Luthien type of the kings of Numenor. They're going to go like middle of the Second Age, where there's like wide open territory to tell whatever kind of fucking story you want. There's good and evil, but it's not like at a pivotal point, and we don't have any characters established. But you know the world, and you know the races involved, and I think that's the direction I would like to see them take. Something that's just like off the fucking map.
Dobo, I recently tried Cincinnati chili, and while I thought it was okay, my friends couldn't get past how sweet it was. Is Cincinnati chili supposed to be sweet? Some say it's not even chili, but a thick meat sauce that you throw on spaghetti.
Yeah, it's a Greek
It's a
spaghetti
thin.
sauce
It's
that
not
is
thick,
being
it's watery.
It's
that,
very
that,
watery.
that is being marketed as chili sauce, and
It's all
I hate it.
Cinnamon meat water, as you call it.
cinnamon flavored meat water is what it is, and I'm not a fan.
I think it is sweet though.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know which one. If you like some of, I can't remember, and I don't remember which one is the sweet one.
Right,
I think
Skyline or
Skyline is
Gold.
sweet, and the Gold Star is not as much. But
Star.
I find them very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can get down for a coney dog every once in a while, especially if I'm at Kings Island and it's like that. The only
I
thing
get those
open
at
still.
Sonic though.
Huh?
I get those at Sonic.
Oh yeah.
I don't like Sonic.
No.
It's been a while since I've been there, though. But I think there was one over in Eastgate that we went to once.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like disappointing in comparison.
I mean, it's probably not a great chili dog.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had a chili dog outside of Sonic though.
We make them. I like make.
Yeah.
I whenever I make chili, I save some chili to the side, and we make chili dogs with it.
Nice.
Yeah, actual chili dogs. What a concept.
Murder Bear. A friend got a book recently called Hypotheticals by Chuck Klosterman. It's a collection of strange hypotheticals that are designed to elicit good conversation. I figured I would
Great.
pose two to you guys.
Great. You need to put that out on the internet, Closterman. This is just made to drive people insane.
Is
Uh,
a hot
namely
dog
me.
a weapon of mass destruction?
All right, here's
Depends.
the first
Is
one.
it covered in chili?
All right, let us
Beans or no
assume
beans?
Spaghetti on top too.
There you
Yeah.
go. It's a Coney 7-way.
spaghetti on top.
Yeah, you put the chili on and the spaghetti on top of that, so it all just slides. It's watery spaghetti too.
Oh, that's going to be a Stranger Things season 4 tie-in. The upside down 5-way. Start with a bed of onion, then cheese, then beans, then chili. Against all odds, spaghetti on top. Only at Gold Star.
I feel like Alexis needs to make a pin
Yeah.
with the chili. The
I
spaghetti
tried to
on
make,
top
in the
chili
early
dog.
days of Bald Move when we were still just fucking around, I tried to come up with a t-shirt that looked like the Gold Star logo, but instead of Gold Star, it said cinnamon flavored meat water.
Uh-huh.
But it's just too, like, it's both Gold Star and Skyline, the iconography doesn't work with that wordy of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so.
So the question is, let us assume a fully grown, completely healthy Clydesdale horse has his hooves shackled to the ground while his head is held in place with thick rope. He is conscious and
Okay.
standing upright, but completely immobile. Let us assume that for some reason every political prisoner on Earth, as cited by Amnesty International, will be released from captivity if you kick this horse to death in less than 20 minutes. You are allowed to wear steel-toed boots. Can you
This
kick
is
a
from
horse to death in 20 minutes?
Klosterman's book.
Mm.
Yeah.
And would you want to?
What a weirdo. I don't know that I could. A horse has a pretty stout skull, and I feel like the only way to get
Do I add a ladder? Because this thing's like 7 foot tall.
that's
its
the other
head.
thing. Yeah, I don't
Is it
like
if,
kick its legs. You could probably take it out.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
shackled to the ground. So
Yeah,
is it like one
I
of those
don't know.
bindi? You remember those like bindi
Oh,
things
yeah,
you push
yeah,
on the
yeah.
bottom and the horse would collapse
Collapses
and
and then
it's like one of those situations you take out its leg, just bends it. Because like yeah, if the horse's head was against something solid, I think I could kick it to death if I had to get all the political prisoners in the fucking world free.
yeah, I don't know that I could. 20 minutes. There's a time window too.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
skulls
I
just
would
aren't that
spend 15
strong.
minutes thinking about it and 5 minutes.
It would be a brutal, horrible death for the horse, but I think I could get it done.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It would be. Next question.
Plus, steel toes. That doesn't enter the thing because you're definitely gonna heel stomp it. Who's gonna fucking kick a horse to death with the point of their toe?
I would.
Healed.
Really?
I would go.
I
would
think
try
the
to kick
power
it
is in the stomp.
I would try to kick it directly in the heart with the
The
with the
heart?
steel-toed part.
Wait, the heart's an option?
How much meat is in the
Yeah,
way?
you can kick it.
I thought it said kick it to death in the head, kicking its head.
No,
to
it just
death.
said kick it to death, you psychopath.
Oh, of course.
You guys are
yes.
imagining
Oh,
kicking
so
it
I was trying to
only
give
in
it the
head?
most humane death, and I'm the psychopath.
Well, I just know my dad's a deer hunter and he's a bow hunter.
How many kicks does
So
it take
he
to
always
kill a
shoots for the
adult
heart,
male deer?
And I know exactly where it is. I can get in there.
You think you
you'd
can
probably
kick
go for the
through a
throat.
heart?
Maybe. I don't know.
I- hmm.
It's encased in a bone cage.
I'm saying if you
Lots of
have to do
muscle.
it, may as well try to do it the most humane way possible.
Next question.
Yes. Next hypothetical.
At long last, someone invents the Dream VCR. This machine allows you to tape an entire evening's worth of your own dreams, which you can then watch at your leisure. However, the inventor of the Dream VCR will only allow you to use this device if you agree to a strange caveat. When you watch your dreams, you must do so with your family and your closest friends in the same room. They get to watch your dreams along with you, and if you don't agree to this, you can't use the Dream VCR.
Okay.
I don't have a strong desire to remember my dreams. So no, I'm not using this. Why would I? I've had several dreams in my life that I remember.
I'm same. I have like 2 or 3 a year that are very vivid and memorable, and I don't even think I know I dream, but I don't remember any of them.
Yeah, I don't. Nowadays, I don't remember any of my dreams. Yeah, but like, why would I risk it? Why would I risk some fucked up dream being recorded and shown to my family if I don't give a shit what my dreams are anyway? No. Klosterman.
Nobody wants to hear anybody else talk about their dreams, let alone like watch them. Here's the real question. Who do you get to agree to that? Like,
yeah.
So if I invite you guys to watch my dreams, but you don't want to, can I still do it by myself?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I did invite you guys to do it.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Right.
Huh.
It says you must do so with your family and friends. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the reward is. I get to remember my dreams.
Yeah, I don't care.
I know what's in my head and all the fucked up shit.
Right. I engage in it consciously.
But if you're interested in this idea, there is a Japanese book called Paprika that is about a dream detective who has a device that allows her to watch people's dreams like while they're sleeping. And she can even, it's a form of therapy. She can even go in there and try to help guide them towards like healthy resolutions. You know, if you confront your mom and you're a grown man wearing a diaper, she can help that be like something you can work through.
See, that's a dream that I don't want anybody to see. The one where I forget my pants going to school. The very real and very true X-Files-esque episode that my brain somehow spits out once every 5 years about me investigating something called a Phoenix Fireball.
Just consistently Phoenix Fireball.
Yeah, no, it's the same dream. Like, it's been a very long time since I've had that one, but I remember having it like over and over again for probably 10 years, maybe once every couple of years. I don't know why.
But in this book, they made a movie out of it. In Paprika, someone steals this device and uses it to drive people insane and like make nightmare creatures come into the real world. It's wild.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Andrew, do you think there are more ugly people in the world or more stupid people? I know ugly and stupid are both subjective, but let's use anyone less attractive and less intelligent than Spider Joe as a barometer.
Whoa.
That's
Spider Joe is pretty. They're talking about the Spider Johansson, right?
Scar Joe.
Oh, yeah, right.
With a spider head. Well, that's pretty horrifying. I don't think anyone's uglier than that.
She's like a 3 of 10 with that bang,
and we don't know how
right?
smart Spider Joe is.
No.
I mean, I feel like this is a bell curve thing. So, like, there's probably exactly as many above average intelligence as there are. I mean, that's like, doesn't it imply like if there's an average level of any intelligence or beauty, then there's going to be half the distribution above, half below. And it seems like that's the way the world works, right?
Not totally sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I know that like intelligence is very bell curvy, so I imagine perceived attractiveness is the same. So I think it's 50-50.
How do you count people who are ugly and stupid?
They count twice.
They count twice.
Right.
They just cancel each other out at that point, right?
I for the purposes of the question, I don't think, because he didn't say how many ugly and stupid people there are in the world. Because that's
a separate list.
That's a tougher question to answer, because I don't know if that is ugliness Cumberbatch, or
Cumberbatch, I think.
Cumberbatched with poor intelligence, or if you're dumb, are you more likely to be pretty? If you're smart, are you more likely to be ugly? I have no idea how that would correlate.
I don't know that they correlate in any way, but I'm not certain of that.
More study. Let's
Yeah, it sounds
Let's
dangerously
reinvent
close to,
eugenics
like,
in 30. That's what the world needs. Let's bring eugenics back in the next 15 years or so. We're ready for it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Next question.
What is happening with this lunch? This lunch is dark.
It really is.
Wrong.
All right. This
That
one's
looked too
better. You're Green with Envy asks, if you had a bachelor party, who is the one celebrity you would invite to your party?
Just one?
Yeah.
Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Bachelor party. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I think he'd make it a hell of a time. And you wouldn't get up to too much shenanigans with him. Like it'd be a mostly wholesome fun time with Bill Murray, I think.
Yeah, plus I could hang with Bill Murray because my first thought was like, what, like fucking George Clooney, Vegas, that like.
I'm thinking like Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think
like
he
if
would
you want
ditch
to go
me halfway through the night.
right. He'd go to the high roller room and
Yeah, he'd be like,
you'd get the sorry, sir.
Yeah, it's like,
At the door.
what are you wanting to do? You wanting to play fucking Axis and Allies? Okay, all right, let's ditch this loser.
Yeah, I think
Bill
Murray'd be down
Murray.
for anything.
Yeah. Mini golf on the strip. He's got that on lock.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I can beat Jim's answer.
I win.
You got a celebrity bachelorette
No.
party host?
If I did have a bachelorette party, I think I'd invite Bill Murray.
Okay.
You know, it's progressive that way. I think you'd be into it.
I think like Tina Fey or Amy Poehler would be fun.
I seem like
Maybe for someone you can like party with. They're very wholesome.
I bet Fey parties.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if you really want to party and you're inviting someone to a bachelor party, I feel like you invite like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
You invite like
But that's like
you're going for a ride that night.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get up to some stuff that your fiance would not approve of.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you didn't care about actually getting married the next day, go with
Right.
the George Clooney, go with the Brad Pitt, go with
Yeah.
the Leonardo DiCaprio, go with the God, who's that English kind of like comedian? He was the Get Into the Greek guy.
Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Fucking Russell Brand.
that
Yeah.
guy.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Or basically any rock star.
Yeah.
Right. I was just thinking like any model right now,
Mm-hmm.
they'll just come loaded with coke. It'll be great.
Justin Bieber.
All right, ZH.
Drake.
Yes.
The Jonas Brothers.
Are they still around? They still
I
doing
think,
stuff?
yeah, because
Aren't
one
they
of
like
them.
super religious?
I don't know, because one of them is dating Sophie Turner.
No, they just got married.
They got married?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
King in the North.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
ZH90538. Hello. Have any of you read Isaac Asimov, specifically Foundation?
Yes.
And
Empire.
All right. Quick synopsis, and then my question. Year 12,000 and the Galactic Empire is in dire straits. One character seeks to help it with his discipline of science math called psychohistory. Using psychohistory, this character can predict with near perfect accuracy the future. The math takes into account as many variables as available, and he's able to predict hours, days, months, and even centuries into the future. Question: if you could predict the future through this or whatever means, what would you do with the knowledge?
I think the same thing that happens in the book. You try to shepherd mankind through the fucking turmoils and tribulations as best as you can. Like, what else would you do with it?
And get rich in the process.
Yeah, I was gonna say do the Biff Tanner, like just bet on all the winning.
I mean,
Super
yeah.
Bowls and,
First goal is get to the point where I have no financial cares at all.
yeah.
Second goal is helping
You
humanity.
got to do the Ozymandias plan. You got to be the man before you
Right,
can make be the change. So, yeah.
Corey, was Garrick redeemed on DS9?
God, how does he?
Did he need
How does
redemption?
that thing wrap up? Oh yeah, I think he needed redemption.
Because I can't remember. I honestly, it's been so long, and I don't fully remember.
Right.
Like almost every Star Trek episode, I've remembered and knew the plot. And there's been like maybe one or two that I was and then they got to the end resolve. I'm like, oh right, like that Riker episode with the little boy. I'm like, where the fuck is this? I don't remember this shit. But yeah, a lot of Deep Space Nine because what was his backstory? He was like a Kardashian black cell operator.
Uh,
He's a Kardashian black cell.
Yeah,
Kardashian
yeah.
liposuction specialist, right?
He was, yeah, he was like a black ops assassin.
Is that the
kinda
Tal
spy
Shiar? Was
character.
it that, or was that the Romulan black ops? The
It
Obsidian
sounds right.
Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of those
he was
dudes.
part of that, yeah, and he was.
So he's a war criminal, big time war criminal.
I think him and Gul Dukat had like a lot of back and forth over the whole thing, over the Dominion War and the Kardashians' role in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't remember the end of that series very well. Remember, he stays on the base when it's under
Cisco becomes
Kardashian
a
rule.
god.
Yeah, basically.
He sins
I
through
think.
the wormhole gods.
Yeah, it's kind of was the prophet or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I forget the name that they give him.
Right. It's some Bajoran.
Yeah.
The Tox Utat.
This is riveting, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Us
Yeah.
half remembering DS9.
Elam's great. Got redeemed.
Yep.
It's what the club members demanded.
I give him
That's
the
what they
stamp of
got.
redemption. Boom.
Tulip Blossom. I was reminiscing with a friend the other day when the subject of an unforgettable boating trip was brought up. It was dusk and we were looking for a camping spot and thought we had found the perfect little cove to stay for the night. Then we saw one, then 5, and then a whole colony of bats come flying at us and the boat. At least 100, probably more. I don't know. I wasn't counting as I hit the deck and just screaming with my friends. It's pretty hysterical now to think of 4 teenage girls freaking out as bats swarmed us from
14.
almost out of nowhere, while the lone adult with us had to try and turn the boat around and calm us all down and find a bat-free spot. Aaron, what's the most hilariously unexpected thing to happen to you while boating?
I mean, that one. There's the first time we tried to sail around the islands of Lake Michigan, or the Beaver Island archipelago, was just a series of misadventures.
Mhm.
We misread the charts and sailed into like 2-foot water, and like we had the emergency like kick up the centerboard, and I ended up having to jump into like waist-book water and like physically hold the boat back from like dashing itself on rocks.
Uh-huh.
Then we sailed up Indian Harbor and anchored, and then we went and explored the island. We came back, and the wind was blowing straight into the mouth of this harbor, which was maybe 100 yards wide at its widest point. And my electric boat motor didn't have the oomph to fight the winds, and I was trying to tack desperately out of that thing, getting nowhere. I was about ready to just take all the sails down and tow it along the shore when one of the CMU research missions came by in their little pontoon boat and towed us out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
Adventures.
We're in a time when we were sailing between the islands and we took turns putting on the goggles and dunking our head over the side as we were going along at 5 to 6 knots and just looking, because it was so clear. You could see like 150 feet down.
Yeah,
and
it's incredibly clear, that water out there.
all the fish, and there's every once in a while you'll see like a car or man-made object down there. It's neat.
Yeah,
It's neat.
snowmobile that got lost in the snow.
But that had to look ridiculous. Like if anyone was watching us, like just people just dunking their heads underwater and like look, and then anyway, I thought it was fun.
PJ Fridays. I just got back from a trip to Ecuador and thought you'd be interested to find out that they use the U.S. dollar as their official currency. Apparently, they switched over around the year 2000 AD because their central bank was doing a poor job managing the money supply, and they were experiencing around 100% of inflation.
Whoa.
What does it even look like? All of the Ecuadorians I spoke with are happy to be on the dollars. Having a staple currency has made everything from buying groceries to getting home or business loans much easier. Can you think of some positives and negatives for one country adopting another's currency? In Ecuador's case, it seems that as long as they continue to export goods to the U.S., mostly oil and agriculture, they can continue to bring dollars into their economy, and this dynamic works out for them. What happens in a recession? They don't have the ability to manipulate their own economy the way the Federal Reserve can.
I mean, I think you just summed up the benefits. Like you hitch your star to a more stable, prosperous country's wagon. or you hitch your wagon to their star or whatever. And the downside is if they undergo some economic crisis that doesn't really involve you, you're sucked into it. And if you undergo an economic crisis yourself, you have no ability to manipulate the currency supply to stimulate spending, to aid in recovery. And you're just like, you're kind of, your economy's on autopilot to someone else's settings. And as you know, like you said, as long as the U.S. is stable, there's no global recession, and Ecuador is able to bring those dollars in, I don't think there is a downside. But
I'm no economist, but it seems like you just made the case for Brexit, and we probably need an exit, which is an Ecuadorian exit.
It's just with 2 E's.
Yeah.
Exit.
Did I make the case for? I thought I made the opposite. Because
for Brexit, you can. Yeah, they don't have the ability to manipulate their own currency if they're on the GBP, but.
Oh, well, so I was thinking,
to,
but that the thing is, like, the European Union is more like the United States than, like, I mean, that's the whole point of the European Union is they're trying to make a United States
Euro,
of Europe, right? So they do have the one currency. So
right, that's what I mean. So them leaving gives them the ability to manipulate their own currency if they want, and not have to be lashed to like Greece,
right,
or whatever,
right.
All right, this is the final question. Zip Howard, are any of you into Mindhunter on Netflix? I have a couple more episodes of season 2 left, and so far I think it's better than 1. I really enjoy Holt McElhaney as Detective Bill Tench.
No, I'm not seeing much of it. I saw the first 10 minutes of the first episode, and I don't know, it didn't hook me, so no.
I watched the whole first episode, and I was just, I don't know. I'm very rarely in the mood for, like, true crime and like slightly fictionalized true crime, which is what that is, right?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. It's just not my thing, and I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure it's great.
Yeah,
it's just not to my taste.
I watched the whole first season. It's really interesting take on how the research and detection of serial killers, which is a term they come up with throughout the show, evolved and started.
But you're a big fan of true crime.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what the show's about.
Oh,
so it's interesting from that perspective, and also just what it does psychologically to the people who are investigating these crimes, because there's some horrific shit.
Sure,
and there's a lot of like mental health is dived into there.
I
haven't seen any of season 2 though.
They do a really good job casting for the serial killers.
Yes,
like they really look and feel exactly like those people did.
Yeah,
right.
And a little bit too much. The same guy who played Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Huh?
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Who was?
I mean, I guess if he's good at playing Charles Manson. You get typecast as
I thought
Charles
one was
Manson.
Jeffrey Davies.
You mean Jeremy Davies? But no, it's not him.
Really? That would be kind of amazing. I think he could do
Kim
a great
Kardashian. Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, sure it's great. Everyone says Pink Floyd's awesome. I just don't like their music. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Right. Led Zeppelin neither.
Holy. Okay.
Yeah. I like Queen. But I don't like. They're not really. I don't know. I've never been able to get into them.
Yeah, it's fair. Not everybody likes
But
everything.
I understand it's good, and like there's even like I fucking love Kashmir. Like I like spots of theirs here and there.
All right. Yeah, that's all of lunch today. We do this live every Friday at 1 p.m. If you are interested in watching, just go to baldmove.com. You can see us there. If you are interested in hearing us submit or read questions, you can send those in #baldlunch on Twitter or forums.baldmove.com.
This is true.
For those listening, because as this is a podcast, Aaron just made himself small in frame. That's
With
all I got
practical
today.
effects and that's digital trickery. I'm above all that.
Everyone have a good weekend. Happy birthday, Aaron.
Thank you. All. Have a great Labor Day.
Yes.
Something
stay safe.
also fought in the bloody streets of early 20th century America for.
Yes.
By labor in America.
Nobody's gonna say goodbye.
Bye. I said
a
have
whole
a
spiel.
Labor Day weekend.
Bye.
Have a Labor Day.
Prost.
Bye.